Let's watch it. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Hop on Calls, powered by Kixie. Really excited to get the show going today. We're going to have Junior Lartey from Pickle jumping on here in just a minute to make some calls. We're going to be using Kixie today. If you guys have not heard of Kixie, I recommend you check it out. Okay, so Kixie is an all-in-one telephony platform, but specifically what we're using it for today is sales calling, outbound calling. They have a power dialer. We're going to be calling 2, 3, 4 lines at the exact same time to maximize our efficiency. We're going to get into a lot of conversations in a short period of time, but that is there's a lot of companies that do that in general. Why you might want to check out Kixie: extremely strong integrations to HubSpot, Salesforce, Outreach, SalesLoft, Pipedrive, Zoho, Gong, conversation intelligence tools, and by the way, integrates with Zapier and Tray.io, so you can zap and connect to literally anything. Give it a shot, try it out. We're going to have a link in here for you to get a free license and some really cool extra stuff. Go to the link that we're dropping in the comments section now. Oh, look who's joining. Junior,
I made it. Yes. Woo! Stoked.
Welcome to the show, Junior. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to make some dials, book some meetings, and hopefully get hung up on a few times.
Look, it comes with the territory, the getting hung up on. Talk to me about the first time you ever cold called. When did you start cold calling? Is this something that's like brand new to you in the last year or two, or?
No, I've been cold calling for a while, right? Maybe 4 years. But my kickoff to cold calling was actually in the form of door knocking. I did door knocking first.
Ooh,
right? So going out, knocking doors for pest control, which essentially was like, hey, if you can knock on some stranger's door, like being farther away via phone is way easier. So we did that, and now we're here.
There you go. Nothing like pulling doors, and going door to door is like one of those like really raw skills. Like I'm a cold calling freak. I think everybody here knows that. And I've never done the door to door thing. I have done like super transactional sales where you're like collecting credit cards on the phone. I think that is that's something that every salesperson should have to do at least once in their career, which is a one call close. Like get someone to take action right now. Underrated skill, very underrated skill. Well, let's just say
that's the pest control scene. It's like, hey, I can't leave your doorstep until you buy, or literally kick me out. So
there you go. And I actually bought pest control from a guy coming door to door like a year ago. And he had a whole script. He was really good. He was really like he just had the world's best timing. Like my wife literally was in the kitchen yelling, "I hate these ants. Why do we have ants everywhere?" And the guy knocks on my door and is like, "Hey, pest control?" I was like, "Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Sign me up." I signed up for like a year-long contract right then and there.
You got to be careful with what you sell, because then on the flip side, someone knocks on my door and I'm like, okay, I did this. I feel like I have to listen to them, at least to like pay it forward. I did my time. Now they're doing theirs. So just be careful.
Hear them out for sure. All right. So I'm going to show real quick, guys. I just want to show everybody here how easy it's going to be to get started. And I promise the calling starts right about now. This is my Kixie dashboard. To get started calling today, Junior and I have these preloaded lists. I'm just going to go to my little Chrome extension, pop this open. Here comes my power dialer. And once again, the only thing we did before this was to upload a list of contacts. So it's a 2-3 step process to get going, getting to the point where we're about to hit start dialing. As soon as we start dialing, I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen. We don't want to broadcast everybody's information in public here. But we're going to get going right about now.
Wow, you're going for it. I will say I struggled to set up because I was missing a couple columns, and Jasper, one of the Kixie reps, jumped on with me and helped me out. Super friendly people. I also had Shell emailing me the same thing that Jasper was telling me. So multiple people willing to help. Great platform. Could get you going.
Love it. So the phone is ringing. Just so everyone knows, I'm calling on behalf of Hopp Consulting today. Junior is going to be calling on behalf of Pickle, right? Pickle.ai, which is the company that he works for. For Hopp Consulting Group, I'm trying to call early stage founders and have a conversation about calling culture. As we all know, I'm kind of a cold calling freak here. And I want to find out if there's an opportunity for me to work with them in a consulting capacity to bring something like Kixie in and really ignite their sales floor, ignite their sales motion, get lots of calls going, lots of conversations. There's a direct correlation between conversations and meeting booked.
Yes. You can't deny that one. You can't deny that one.
Hey, Anoop, how you doing today? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group.
We got one live.
Hello? Oh, he hung up right away. So
lost him.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to double tap. We're going to call him right back. There's a button that's green and it says redial. And I just
So what's your play? What's your play? Is it the, hey, I think we lost connection? What do you do?
Phone problems. You ready? Let's see if he picks up. Come on. I know you want to talk to me. Come on. Of course he's not going to pick up.
So I was talking to Shell. I was talking to Shell, one of the Kixie reps, and he was telling me if I dial someone and something like this happens, or I go through my list and I want to redial, I can actually change my number because we didn't connect. So they don't know that it's me calling a second time. So keep that in mind. Could be really helpful. Although, when I double tap, they're like, hey, this is the same guy calling me. He's either dumb or tenacious. I lean towards tenacious. They probably lean towards dumb.
Double tapping. A lot of people, sorry, I'm getting a lot of connections here, but it's like I'm calling, I just called 3 Google voice things in a row where they're like, hey, this is Google.
Oh yeah.
What are you calling about? I don't
know
if I want to play that game right now.
I do that. I play that game all the time. Where
should I do it on the next one?
I literally just say, hey, this is Junior, a cold call. And then it sends me to their voicemail. So I don't know. It's never worked yet. I'm not going to say it has.
If you identify yourself right away as a cold caller, I mean, it is a strategy to try and just lead out the gate with hey, this is a sales call. I'm not a fan. I don't do that. You'll hear my script as soon as I get a live connection here. Dialer's running. But I'm a big fan of just pushing for the conversation. The point of the call is not people generally have a negative connotation to I'm getting cold called. And I want them to think, yo, this is an intelligent person who can have a business level conversation with me. Because you and I and everybody, who's tuning in right now is making cold calls. We're fighting telemarketers, right? We're fighting the idea that 90% of the numbers that buzz your phone are useless. They don't help you, right? It's we're calling to reach you about the vehicles, your vehicle service center, your extended warranty, things like that. That makes it harder and harder for us to actually use the phone to connect directly with people. So, dang. I am waiting for.
On top of that, Apple is trying to make it so we can't cold call at all. With the privacy stuff that they're doing. But we will always beat the machine. Not sure how, but we always will.
Look, do you know how you beat the machine? Process.
You double tap. Oh, process. Right.
Hey, Andrew. Oh, that was a live one, but it was not. Don't you hate when their voicemail's like, hey, it's Andrew.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you've reached my voicemail.
You start the conversation to nobody.
Yeah, that's not helping me here.
All right,
I really want to get a connect.
Salespeople go through. Okay, Kevin, I got a question. There's lots of different scripts you can write, right? Like interest-based, pain-based, I don't know, timing-based, I don't know. So what type of script do you feel works best? And I know products are so different and stuff, but what do you typically go for?
I typically go for, so I have a whole kind of methodology around this. And in my online course, I don't give people a script framework where it's this will work every time. I have this obsession around the front end of the call. And the front end of the call is like that awkward interaction that we were just talking about, where it's like, I don't know you. Who are you? Why are you calling? Hey, Brent, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. I'm all right. But I called you out of the blue on a Tuesday. We haven't met before. Do you have a minute for a cold conversation? Yeah, it's business stuff. If you're in the middle of a golf tournament, you got to focus on your next swing here. Or are you on the putting green? Yeah, so I'm an outbound sales process and strategy consultant. I was going to ask you about your outbound sales structure. Very similar to stuff like this, like actual outbound calls. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can get into it, Brent. I'm a solo consultant, so I'm pretty flexible. It just depends on what you have going on today, how many reps you have. Yeah, well, I could, I could potentially make calls, but I generally help teams of people and help executives like yourself understand the math behind why calling is important and why outbound sales is important to invest in, things like that. It's kind of a bit more of an in-depth conversation. I'll follow up with you via email though, because I want to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Brent. Do you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn as well? Awesome. Okay, awesome, Brent. Thanks for the connection. I'll follow up with you, but have a good rest of your round here. Fairways and greens only, man. Cheers. Whoa.
Nice. Give us the rundown. You caught him.
All right, so the rundown, that was crazy. Yeah, so I caught him golfing, and then like right away he said, I'm on the golf course. I can't talk right now. But what is this regarding? The classic trap. Like I hate that people do that, right? And I don't. It's a weird human nature thing, and it comes back to the two thing we were talking about. Who are you and why are you calling? Who are you? Why are you calling? Everybody, every time you call, wants to know who you are and why you're calling, and then they generally are going to put you into a bucket really quickly. The bucket is salesperson, spammer, someone I know, someone from my community, right? Like the reason that they pick up numbers they don't know is, their daughter could be sick at school, their grandma could have gotten run over by a reindeer, and it's the fire department. Like people have this general curiosity around phone calls. So Brent picks up and he's like on the golf course, says I can't talk. Then he proceeds to talk my ear off for like 3 minutes. Of course. Like telling me all about how his company they used to offshore their cold calling operations. Now they have it in Charlottesville, Virginia. He said, I'm really interested in optimizing this kind of stuff. He thought that I was a caller for a second. I said, well, I don't really call. I help you call. And it was a really good conversation back and forth. So hot follow-up, but there's nothing for me to close on there. I just want to clarify that like a lot of reps might have said, oh, you had a CEO on the phone. You should have closed him. Like close him for a meeting. I don't think that you close people that are telling you exactly how to interact with them. He said, email me. I'm interested. I asked him to for LinkedIn connection. He said, I'm inundated on LinkedIn. Don't even do it. Like he's like, you can add me, but I won't add you back because I've got 15,000 notifications there. So he told me exactly how to do business with him. So I'm gonna play by his rules, right? And I'm a huge fan of playing by someone's rules if they're gonna tell you, hey, here's the keys to the castle. So really good first conversation. I'm on the board in terms of
yes, you're on the board. That makes a lot of sense too. Like you're communicating in their preferred method. Okay, we're trading off, right? So now it's my turn.
Yeah. Hit go, man. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm going to send a nice little customized follow-up to my guy, Brent. I put in a lot of content in my follow-ups. I don't know if that's something you do. Content.
Sean, hey, this is Junior calling from Pickle AI. Total cold call here. Was wondering if I could give you an overview of why I'm calling, and if you're interested, we can chat. Otherwise, you could just hang up. Is that fair? I appreciate that. And I'll be quick too. I don't want to burn a bunch of your time, but teams like yours are typically awesome. Teams like yours are typically having a lot of meetings over Zoom. Does that happen to be the case for you as well? Right. Some video conferencing call. I'm assuming mostly at the discovery stage, right? Where you've built a little bit of value. It makes enough sense to have a conversation. Awesome. What Pickle does is we capture and share key moments on Zoom to make it easier for your reps to identify real problems, find use cases, and have better follow-up material throughout the sales process. I know it's a cold call, right? I'm not expecting you to jump on anything. I just want to know if this at all sounds of interest to you and whether you think it'd be valuable for the team. Okay. Right. It would be for yourself. Yeah, it would be for yourself, right? You'd be the single user on that end. Gotcha. Okay, let me ask you a different question then. At the end of the day, do you remember all the details from the meetings that you have? Okay. Then we'll close that 15-20% gap and give you the remaining, 80%. Let's book a time. I'll jump into a demo. We'll spend 5 minutes seeing if it's worth the conversation. If it is, we'll jump into a demo, and from there we can go. Okay?
Let's go. Junior's closing. Coffee is for closers, Junior. Just remember.
Okay. Yes and no. Okay. Mostly from yeah. Put you. Yeah. If you bring your wife to the demo, that would be even better. Party all around. Would it be best? Would it be best if I just send you a time? I'm looking at next week, like early next week on Tuesday.
Let's go.
Okay. That's fair. I get it. Hey, stairs are a beast. I get it. I've walked upstairs. It's quite a beast.
Oh, man.
Classic play. Those 23 floors are going to catch up with you. Okay.
Wow.
I will take 30 minutes max. If there's no interest halfway through, we'll just cut it short. Yeah. So here's what I'll do. I'll drop you an invite for Thursday morning at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard. If it doesn't work, propose a new one, and we'll get that settled. Make sure you check the wife's calendar as well. Awesome, Sean. Great chatting. Appreciate you. Okay, bye.
Let's go. Atta boy.
We got it. We got one.
Well done.
Okay,
we're hitting the chatty Cathy's today. Chatty Cathy's.
We are. He decided to take the stairs. He was like, I was going to get in the elevator. You called. I was going to take the stairs and then hang up on you.
Nice.
23 flights. So he was like, you seemed chatty because it was a long conversation, but it was a lot of heavy breathing, So
he said 23 flights of stairs.
Yeah, he is like, I made a huge mistake. I was like, yeah, you did. You took my call. That's the first one. The second one was the stairs.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he thinks it may be valuable for his wife as well, who runs some sales conversations, right? They're both VPs of sales, so found a time for both of them. I've never done that before, but we'll make it work. Like if she wants to buy, I'll pressure him into buying. Right? Like you can't not buy if your wife's going to buy.
Oh so, yeah. I mean, talk about getting to the decision maker. Okay.
Yes. Two of them.
You want, yeah, right. You got two of them, but we all know that the husband can't do anything without the wife's approval. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So, if you want the Hopp family to buy something, get my wife to buy into it and she'll sell it to me better than any salesperson could sell anything. Right.
Totally.
Wow. Congrats, man. That was a really good one. I like that.
That was a 2-for-1, but in Kixie I can only say one because it was a single call. Just letting them know. Future reference.
Rad. I am back in the queue. I'm dialing here. So while you are wrapping up, sending that invite, which by the way, interesting note, like a procedural training note. Would you agree? Really important if you do set the meeting, send that invite now. Like the moment that you get off the phone with someone, that next 10 minutes of their life is the most attention that they'll give you until the next time you talk. So one of the mistakes I've seen reps make is they focus so much on their call block that they're not sending invites on time. They're not sending follow-up emails. And then if you wait an hour or something, you send it, it gets lost in the shuffle of spam emails, junk emails, all this other stuff. And you lack context. So capitalizing on the context of where their brain is at right now is how you get them to accept the invite quickly.
Someone needs to do a study on ghosting and when they've accepted and sent the calendar invite. Because I agree with you. I try to get it on the cold call. Like, hey, I sent that to you. And I'll try to keep the conversation going until they're like, yep, I see it. I've accepted. Great. Whereas, I feel like the ghosting happens when it's like, oh, this was the cold call from earlier today. I don't know that I'm actually that interested. I'll just hit yes because I told him I'd be there.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group here. I'm all right, but look, man, I'm calling out of the blue on a Tuesday. Did I catch you with a minute and I can tell you why I called, or you heads down on something? Awesome. As long as you got 1 minute to walk between where you're going now and where you are and where you're going. Awesome. So my name is Kevin Hopp. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I work directly with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture, doing things actually just like this. And it's all about process, structure, and strategy as to how you get more calls, more live conversations with prospects in less time. Would you say that your organization has a strong calling culture? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because if you have a high performing sales team, I'm sure they do make some outbound calls, but if they're crushing it and they're selling directly to the government, there's probably not a lot that I can help you with, right? Okay, awesome. Well, Chris, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Selling to the
All
government.
right, yeah. So they sell to the government. He
Some
says they
big
do have a
dogs.
strong calling culture, and he says that his sales team's killing it. Right.
Okay.
So, that's on me that I got this was on a B2B list, right? This guy sells
Yeah.
directly to the government. Cold calling the government, I've never done it consistently. I've done it like kind of on accident, and I've done it a little bit when I worked for an ed tech company and we were trying to sell to like government kind of run entities in education.
Yeah.
But the big takeaway here is, no problem, no solution, right? I'm not going to push this guy. He's a co-founder of a company. He took my call, was totally open to hearing it. But when he said that he sells to the government, number one, number two, that they have a strong calling culture today, and number three, that his sales team's doing really well, why would you pay top dollars for a consultant? You wouldn't. So onward.
Yes.
Onward we go. Moving on. I'm going to put him as a nurture in my system. Do you want to hit go?
I am dialing.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
So I'm dialing 3 at a time, but you can do up to 10, right? Have you done it, Kevin? Have you done the 10?
Yeah. So 10 is what we call chaos. Because calling 10 people at once, you get a really quick connection. One of the things you always want to be careful about when you're using a dialing tool is there's a downside to all of this. And let's be honest, there's a downside to every outbound tool, right? It's the same idea as like, you don't want to send one email to 5,000 people, right? You want to make sure that the email is super relevant and very targeted. The same way you don't want to call.
Hey, Amber, this is Junior calling from Pickle AI. Cold call here. Was wondering if I could give you an overview of why I'm calling, and if it's interesting, we can chat. Otherwise, you can hang up. Is that fair? Ooh, she chose the hang up option.
Did you say it or did she just do it?
She just did it. Just did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay, so according to the way that you disposition these, you're saying that would be not a phone lead.
No.
Not a phone lead would be like she's pissed, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay.
So do you ever get the people that like the first thing when you say, "Hey, it's Junior with Pickle," they say, "Take me off your list."
Yes.
That's the first thing out their mouth. That's not a phone lead.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm glad you bring that up because like I like part of what I do obviously with Hopp Consulting Group is structure, strategy, and process around cold calling, and like dispositions are something that a lot of organizations they go, oh, whatever outreach has in their template or whatever they don't really put time and effort into thinking about the way they disposition calls, and what that's doing is it's not setting you up for future success, right? So a lot of people might put that guy as not interested, that gal, right? Not interested.
Yeah. Yep.
But the fact of the matter is she doesn't know anything about you, Pickle, the problems you exist to solve. That was not valuable for either of you. But we do know that she gets pissed when you call her phone, right? But I mean, she wasn't angry. you gave her an out. I mean, the way you opened that call, you're like, do you want to hang up? She's like,
that's part of it. That's part of the thing.
Right. So I would not mark her as not a phone lead. I'd keep her in sequence, keep her in your call cadence.
Hey, I'm actually looking for Lauren. Is she happen to be in the office? Sure. Yeah, this is Junior calling from Pickle. It's kind of a strange name, a fruit or vegetable, depending on which way you lean. Yep, that's the one. 385-985-0275. Yeah, I'm trying to sync up with her on a cold call, essentially. Thought this may be something that she had interest in. Thanks. I kind of stuttered on that because I was going to say, like, I want to say, like, I'm trying to see if she needs car insurance or something as a joke. I decided against it. I already did the
Yeah.
vegetable thing, so I don't want to joke around too much.
Did you end that call?
No, she's transferring me
Okay.
over to Lauren,
It'd be
who it
really,
will go to her
really interesting.
voicemail for sure.
It'll most likely go to her voicemail. Um, Gatekeepers are an interesting topic. You obviously have a structure there where you actually gave her your number. So do you normally?
No, if she's not available, that's okay. I'll try back another time.
There we go.
Okay, thanks. Bye. That's the first time it's gone back to the gatekeeper. Usually it just goes to
Really?
the voicemail, but it like kicked back. So,
Huh.
anyways, what were
I've
you
had that
saying?
happen a bunch. I was going to ask you about gatekeepers. Like, so so my philosophy on gatekeepers is you have to keep it very, very brief and as quick as possible. Like, get to like just the more brief you are, the less you sound like a salesperson. It is,
Yeah.
if you think about like if you're actually someone who's important, right? Like think about maybe I work for the lawyer that this person uses, or maybe I work at their school. Like you're not calling to say, hey, yeah, well, I was just wondering if they were. Da, 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 da. You're like, hey, I need to speak to Junior, please, right?
Yeah.
Straight to the point. Those are the kinds of people that the gatekeeper goes, oh, you sound important. That sounds different.
Yeah.
Right.
I
But you
think
gave
the
your
confidence.
number there, which is interesting.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I got to collect some information. So she's like, what's your name? What's your number? Which
Okay.
I'm fine with. I cold call
Yeah.
people. She's going to call me back and like, don't ever call again. She's not going to do that.
Right.
But with gatekeepers, I think like one of the biggest things is just being so confident that you're supposed to be calling, almost like they're
Yeah.
expecting you. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is Junior calling from Pickle. I'm actually looking for Lauren. Is she in the office today? Or like it, I just expect her to be there, and I expect the gatekeeper to transfer me. And then they're like, oh, okay, because she gave a little bit of pushback. That's why I threw in the fruit versus vegetable. Right? It's nice to have like a little bit of humor. If it's
For
in
sure.
person, I'm dropping the gatekeeper some cupcakes, right? Because I came with cupcakes for the person I'm trying to reach, but I'm also giving the gatekeeper something like, hey, this is for you. Also, is Kevin Hopp in office? Right. So,
Yeah.
anyways, try to be playful, try to be fun.
So you're
To get
telling me
back.
you would not bring a pickle if you were doing an
Gourmet pickle, I'm sure. Artisan gourmet, I don't know. Someone send me an Amazon link. I'm not in the know on pickle selection, unfortunately.
Dude, have you not seen they have like pickles in a bag where it's like a little clear bag. It's got a big old dill pickle in there. And it's so good. I love pickles. Like salty's
Okay.
my jam. Crunchy and salty are my two like favorite things. I'm a
Okay.
big pretzel guy too. So like pickle in a bag, you guys should do a sending campaign. See if that gets you more conversations. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
see
hit
what it
go over
turns
here, by
out.
the way.
All right, you get going.
I'm in the queue. We are calling some tech founders over here.
Okay. So I will mention, Kevin, when you do your opener, it's so like loose. Like you can tell you've been cold calling for a long time. There's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of script, but for the most part, it's pretty open. Whereas mine is definitely more scripted, right? I use the same opener, I use the same qualifier, the same hook, and the same ask. Um, share some thoughts. Is that good? Is that bad? You tell me.
Kevin, let's see. Let's see if Google connects me. That was one of the Google ones where it's like,
Ooh,
this person's using Google.
yes.
Let's see if this guy picks up. Did not pick up. Shoot.
Okay.
All right. So scripts, right? And I'm
Yes.
fine. I'm happy if my audience tuning in here trying to get better at cold calling. If you guys tune in and you take very little away from this, aside from my favorite analogy, which is scripts are like beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. What is this? You can see it. I hope everyone can see it. These are steps. These steps are the conversation where we're trying to get from point A to point B. You can call this hello. And you can call this meeting set, MTG meeting, right? how do we get from point A to point B? Well, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be different things that happen in every conversation. There's going to be objections that come up. Let me hit keep in the queue over here. So as you're going through the call, the script is actually your handrail. It's the way that we're going to make sure you get from A to B without. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Brad, how you doing? Yeah, I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. You probably never heard of it, and I know I'm calling you out of the blue, Brad. Did I catch you with a minute to have a conversation? Awesome. So Brad, reason I was reaching out, I work directly with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organization, mostly by leveraging structure, process, and of course, a mix of the right technology. Brad, do you have a strong calling culture inside your organization today? Okay. Any particular reason you want me to follow up in a month? Okay. But in a month, it might be the right time. Do you want to put something tentatively on the calendar in a month, or do you just want me to reach back out totally cold? All right, Brad, I'll cold call you in a month. Cheers. That was interesting. So he told me he said, if you want to get my attention and if you want to talk, you got to call me back in a month because we're doing reorganization things. I got a lot going on. I'm not focused on this. And then I even gave him the opportunity to say like, hey, do you want me to cold call you? Right. Because the connotation of cold calling, no one wants to be cold called. Everyone wants to have conversations. And then he actually said, yeah, he's like, I don't want to put anything on the calendar. Cold call me in a month. So another really important note for everyone that's watching, I'm calling founders and CEOs. So these people are the top of the top of the top, right? If I'm going to make $1 from this, if I'm going to help them, they're going to be the one that like sign the agreement, right? They're the one that at the end of the day owns P&L and all of that. So I'm taking their direction. I'm not pushing super hard to overcome some of these objections because if they're telling me about what's going on in their organization, I'm learning valuable things that I can use to follow up in a much more personalized manner. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it gives you like time from now until then when you do cold call, you can do some research and come back with a little bit more targeted as compared to we all have a list, maybe targeted. This time it's more broad. So if someone were to ask me right now, like, what does my company do? I'd be like, I couldn't tell you. I'm calling 1,200 people, right?
You are?
But yeah. Well, I've got 1,200 people queued up.
Well, Junior, maybe we should talk about your cold calling structure and process.
There you go.
All right. So I'm calling a very targeted list. I'm using my own.
You're doing the opposite of what I'm doing.
Well, I'm doing the right thing, man. You don't want to dial for dollars. You want to call the right people with the right message and tell them exactly why it matters to them. And if you can set up,
yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I want to wrap up my point on the script, right? So the script, the way to think about the script is that it is a handrail, right? So when you're new to having sales conversations and you're trying to like walk up the steps, you're slipping all over the place. You're falling down, right? And you're not sure how to navigate from point A to point B. The better you get at running upstairs, aka having sales conversations, aka talking to this specific market about this specific thing, the less you actually need the script. And the script's important because it keeps us on a directional path, but it's really bad to read scripts word for word. And now, one of the biggest reasons why it's bad word to word is 95% of reps didn't write the script, right? And this is like a complaint, right? I've been an entry-level seller, guys. I've been an SDR. I've been the first sales hire at a business a bunch of times. I've had these awkward moments where I'm like, shoot, this is the script. Like, I wouldn't say it that way. And I know there are people watching this right now and listening that are like, yeah, my manager wrote the script and I just don't vibe with it. Well, the answer is you should not be reading every word on your script. If you read your script word for word, you're going to sound like a robot. We're trying to have conversations here. We're not just trying to drop scripted outcomes. If all you needed, I hit go on the queue, by the way. I want to see if I can't get a meeting here. Okay. If all we needed in sales was to drop a script, like that was like what we needed to succeed, then we wouldn't need skilled professionals, right? Like what, salespeople make a lot of money, right? Like there are people out there that cold call with 100K base salaries because they're skilled. They're really skilled at the art of the conversation. So I'm a huge advocate for thinking of it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes. Chat, yes. For sure.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Okay, you're dialing.
I am dialing. I am actually dialing. To Jennifer's point, scripts have to be flexible. Hey, Carlton, how you doing? Yeah, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Carlton, I can hear that you're driving right now. Did I catch you hands free, or are we like juggling the phone? Yeah, not a good time. All right, talk to you later. Boom. That is how we avoid what I call the false negative. The false negative is when someone's really busy. You could hear that they have a lot going on. They want to know, who are you calling? Everybody wants to know the exact same thing every time you call. Who are you calling? I know that. So now that we know that, how do I make sure that I can have a conversation with you? I just stiff arm that guy. I said, are you like juggling the phone? He said, yeah, not a good time. I said, bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. All right, you hit go. You hit go.
Okay.
Let's hear you get some pickle meetings. Another pickle meeting. We already got one, but I'm like determined to beat you here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. The descriptive word for Kevin Hopp is competitive, for sure. And anyone that has played a sport with me would know that. But it's not even just sports, right?
Did you say play this sport as in cold calling, as in sales?
Man, I wish that this was a sport. If this was actually a sport, I'd be like an all-star athlete. Well, I mean, you can kind of think of it this way. Like, look at what I'm doing right now. Look at this show. Like, I'm a sponsored athlete, and my sport is cold calling.
Yeah.
One way to do it.
Okay,
sales athlete.
Voicemails. I'm going through the sales athletes of the world.
So you mentioned you're calling 1,200 people. Do you have a persona that you usually reach out to first? Like, these aren't like from the value chain, right?
No, these are all VPs of sales. Yeah, sales leaders.
VPs of sales.
So I've got two. One is my targeted accounts list, right?
Yeah.
These are, I'm adding to these weekly. That's a voicemail that I'm adding to weekly and going through and cadencing them. And then I have a much broader list of 1,200 people that roughly fill somewhat of the same pain, right? That I can cold call out of the blue, pretty confidently catch on the phone and hit them with what I've got.
Right on. I think that's another little strategy, a little like tidbit of having two kind of buckets. You can have your people that you're reaching out to that like their names, all about their company. You've spent that time in research. But I think one of the problems, and I'm sure people listening are going to resonate with this, like one of the problems is sometimes leaders focus too much on that. If you focus too much on just the account-based stuff, what do you do when your accounts aren't responding? What do you do when you've reached out to and you're at that point in the cadence on your cadencing solution where it's like, it's the auto email today. I'm not supposed to reach out to Junior on LinkedIn or call him today, so I'm not going to do it. I've actually seen organizations where their SDRs have like a work schedule that's like this. Like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday. I just check email on Tuesday. I'm like, what? You do what? Like, you're telling me you're not calling anybody today. You're not going to have any business conversations. Well, in the cadence, it's not time for that. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Right? We got to be on top of that. We got to be productive. So always have your list of like, dude, I can get a conversation anytime I want out of this list.
Rockford. Hey, Rockford. This is Junior calling from Pickle Cold Call here. Was wondering if I could give you an overview of why I'm calling, and if you're interested, we can chat. Otherwise, you can hang up. Is that fair? Awesome. Cool. And that can be quick too. Teams like yours are typically having a lot of meetings over Zoom. Is that the case for you as well? Gotcha. Okay. Would it make sense to push for another time, like early next week? Push for no time. Makes sense to have no time, no conversations. Okay, fair enough. When I'll follow you on LinkedIn. When you've made the switch, I'll be your first cold call. So watch for this number again. Hey, thanks. Bye.
Good old
Not-
in between jobs.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Towards the end, he's like, hey, they don't know I'm leaving, but I'm leaving. I'm not going to do anything. There's no time, no conversation. So when this person switches jobs, I will find them. I will
That's
find
right.
you.
It'd be, so what I've advised a lot of folks to do in that scenario, when they say that they are switching, like they got something else, put that in your calendar with their cell phone number, with the number you just connected with them on, 3 weeks from now. And then when that pops up, just do a quick little LinkedIn and say, oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. Look, here he is now here at this new spot. And you have all the relevancy in the world to reach back out to that person and make the connection.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Love it.
Are you going or am I going?
I'm going because I want to beat you.
Fair.
I want to beat you. To Tori's point here,
is it 1-1?
Got to be competitive. Got to be competitive. It's 1-0. I do not have a meeting on the board. Last week I said a meeting though. It's totally possible to get 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings in a dial session. What's your record of meetings set in a day?
I think I did 7 meetings in a day. That was a culmination of cold calling, booking like 1 or 2 there, but then all of my cadences also, there's a couple emails being dropped. I'm adding new people. So it's like the perfect storm, if you will.
And by the way, I'm a phone freak, meaning I think everybody should be cold calling all the time because it's conversations are king, right? But you need to be using every channel because not everybody picks up the phone, right? So using multi-channel is really important. And by the way, that's where Kixie comes into play. Incredible integrations, right? Into all the tools you already use. Hello? Hey, is this Forrest? Sorry about that. I actually was just having a conversation with my colleague, and I never know when someone's going to pick up or not. My name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. I actually run my own little consulting firm. Did I catch you with a minute to have a conversation real quick? Okay, I'll reach out another day then, Forrest. Well, all right, cheers. Whoops. So that was interesting, right? And that doesn't happen very often. So you know what he did? He answered the phone without saying anything.
Oh.
So on the dialer, it like popped up, and I was talking, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't say a word. He was just like,
he's just lurking.
and then I'm talking about integrations and stuff like that. And the first thing he said was, "What am I listening to?" Shoot, man. Sorry. You're supposed to say hello. You're supposed to say hi. It's Forrest.
Yeah.
If you talk,
Forrest, that's your fault.
yeah, that's on you, man. That's on you.
That's funny.
I'm back in the queue because I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it. Boom, 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 boom. Jennifer with scripts, flexibility.
Get to the point. Nice.
So Jennifer, my question to you is, why is your script not getting to the point in the first place? Think about that.
But that's a thought.
That is a thought. Also, so there's this other idea, and while I'm in the queue, I want to draw up another thing here for you. So, what are we calling for? We're calling to sell stuff. What is sales? Sales is change. How many people are actually looking to change and buy at any given time, right? Like, not everybody is the answer. This is a triangle. There's a concept taught by a famous sales trainer. Hey, is this Colleen? Oh, she hung up. I thought she connected.
She didn't want to hear about the triangle.
She didn't want to hear about the triangle, but this is like really important for everybody to like understand conceptually about outbound sales in general, right? So let's talk about this. This is called the buyer's pyramid, right? Taught by a guy named Chet Holmes. He passed away. This is a really like kind of classic thing to understand when it comes to outbound sales development, which is the buyer's pyramid is your total addressable market. Imagine they're all sitting in here. Well, at any given moment, at the very, very tippity top, it's only about 3% of your market that's actually looking to buy from you. They have the business problems that you solve for, and they're looking for solutions. They're looking for solutions, right? But that's only 3% of your market. That's it. 1 to 3%, right? And now super mature markets, right? Like the CRM market or phone, if you're selling phones, things like that. Like this 1 to 3% becomes huge, right? There's a lot of low-hanging fruit out there. But for guys like you and me, Junior, that are not selling things that everybody's heard of and everybody already uses and are common, you have to understand that because only 1 to 3% of your market is actively looking for a solution, if your messaging, if your script is, here's what I do you want it? You're only ever going to win 1 to 3% of the time. That's the takeaway. That's a super important thing to understand. So how do you get how do you end up getting all of this, right? Or how do you get down here at some point? Well, everyone in this middle tier isn't looking for a solution, and they may or may not even understand that they have a business challenge that you can help them with, right? So this is where this concept of education comes into play, right? This is why I'm so bullish, and I've said this 3 or 4 times already. Conversations are king. Conversations, a two-way dialogue, learning about what someone's doing to solve a business challenge can get you meetings with people that are not in market. But then the other conversation is like, well, I'm in sales. I'm looking to sell to people right now. Well, it's a long game, right? So how you play the game with outbound sales is you build a list, you have conversations with the list, and you follow up. It's that simple. You follow up when the time is right, and you provide good educational resources as to why what you have to offer solves real business challenges and is a really valuable solution. But it's really that easy. Like you have to understand that you're not just dialing for dollars, just looking, hey, are you in the market to buy? Are you in the market to buy? Are you in the market to buy? If that's what you're doing, which a lot of orgs do, you're only going to win 1 to 3% of the time, which is kind of a bummer.
That's like, man, that's the pest control days. I'm like, I got to get to more doors. Like, just get me to more doors. Yeah. Are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Are you ready
to buy? Are you ready to buy? But
how about tomorrow?
So how do you get people to move inside of these tiers? Conversations, right? In conversations, like you can, here's a meta concept for you. Hey, is this Farshid? Farshid, how's it going? This is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Did I catch you at the minute to have a cold conversation? Oh, about sales, I guess, is the broadest way we could say what it would be about. Yeah. So I run my own consulting firm. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I help B2B SaaS companies establish a strong calling culture inside of their sales organizations, actually by teaching process around what I'm doing right now. So you guys don't do a lot of outbound calling, I take it. Okay. And the outbound calling that you do today is like crushing it, like performs at a really high level, converts at a high level. I don't have a lot of experience in the federal government. I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right. Okay. All right, Farshid, I'll let you go. Thanks for taking my call. Dang. Going back to this whole
federal government thing.
Yeah, it's like the third person I've talked to in this live that is like, dang, he works with the federal government. So he was like hearing me out, But his like the bottom line for him was, I work with the federal government. Do you have experience with that? Do you know how to call into that? I was like, no. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, no.
Yeah, it's probably best.
So,
when it's the government, it's probably best not to lie.
yeah. Well, he's not.
If
the
it's
government,
someone else,
yeah.
if it's a different vertical, I can get experience. I'll read a book over the weekend.
That's
Not
right.
really.
That's right.
Don't do that either. But
totally.
okay.
Well, I want to wrap up. You hit go, by the way. Let's try to get. We got 3 more minutes here. We'll get a few more conversations. But to wrap up, put a bow on this whole conversation. Like the reason cold calling actually works really well in a B2B market is because you don't use it just to dial for dollars. You use it to have conversations with people. And the thing I was going to say about zooming out, you can have conversations in more than just phone, right? Like it can be a conversational nature of like people come to your website, they look at content, they're educating themselves. You interact with them via email on their questions or comments, whatever. There's this whole idea of conversational intelligence and conversational sales, right? With like tools like, Drift and other chatbot type things. So conversations, which is the two-way exchange of information, is how you get people to move through the pyramid, right? Cold calling just happens to be the most satisfying way to do it. If you ask me, that's why I love cold calling, because you can actually talk to people. I found myself at certain times when I was an SDR, like you spend 30, 40 minutes on the email, like the perfect email. Like I researched everything about you. I know all your companies you've been to. I help people like you, and you're just like customizing this email, and you hit send.
Yeah.
And when they don't respond, you're like, and then you like, just following up to my last email, per my last email.
Yeah.
And then they hit you with an unsubscribe, or they don't respond at all. And I'd get so frustrated with that. So this is why I'm so passionate about outbound calling, because it just allows you to communicate with your market more effectively. That's what we're trying to do, is communicate to markets. Shout out to Matthew, who is cold calling while having this on. Hell yeah, brother. Hope this is helping you stay motivated and excited to be on the phones. Junior, are you in the queue? Let's get one more.
It's going.
It's going.
It's going.
It's going. I'm gonna go too. Let's see who gets a conversation first.
Okay.
Come on. Come on. Do. Hey, is this Anand?
Hey, I'm actually looking for Barry Long.
Is this Anand?
Okay, thanks.
Mine
was the wrong number for sure.
Shoot, Anand hung up, but I also see that he's a chief product officer. Yeah, he's a co-founder. That's how he got on my list. But having sales conversations with product people, generally not what we want to do.
Nice. There it is.
Cool. So let's put a bow on this. I'm pulling up a bit of a graphic here real quick. Austin's asking, he stepped away for the bit. What's the score? The score is 1-0. Junior actually got a meeting. I did not. Gonna have a bit of a graphic here to show us in a minute here. Well, while we're waiting on the graphic, Junior, thanks for coming on today, man. I do appreciate it. Yes. Does this inspire you to go hit phones after this? Are you gonna keep going?
This is my hour of phones. No, now I got to tune into my account list. Now I've got people queued up to dial that I am actively prospecting, cadencing. So after this, I'll turn that on and get going from there. Yeah.
Rad. Yeah, it's interesting. I find that like time blocking is essential, like having a time when you make calls, but trying to balance the rest of your day between calling and not calling is something that once you optimize is going to produce at a much better clip here. Yeah. So let me dive into my Let's see if we can't get a bit of a summary here. I have a total of, on my end, 1, 2, 3, 4 live conversations, I do believe is what I have here. Junior, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. You left some voicemails, but you got a meeting, and that's what matters.
We got the one.
Absolutely.
We got the one.
We're a few minutes over. We're gonna end it right now. Junior, thank you so much for hopping on today. I really do appreciate it, man. Let's stay connected, and if you ever want to come back on the show and make some calls, let me know. Hope everybody out there love this. We're dropping a podcast this week. Hop on Calls is going to be a podcast where you can learn from the best moments in the show. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be all over my LinkedIn. Junior will post about it because Junior's going to be in the podcast next week because it always comes out a week later. But thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
Cheers.
See you guys.